Mommy said don't talk to strangers. You're a wild one, boy, you're dangerous. For me, no, have no senses. But you have my attention. How much can you take? See what I like to handle. Rock your hands for my ways. Need you knocked up a candle. Illuminate me, no care. Only day of fire. Now keep your hands to yourself. Skip to my desire. You come to meet my vibe. Before you go break my line. Now go for me like tonight. Just stick to the way I temperature rise. Hope we go set me free. Make me better to die before we overheat.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Tea with Taylor. How's it going? Hey Grayson, how you doing? Everyone, thank you for joining in. Today we're going to be talking about women's rights, and what a good time to talk about such a thing. While you guys join in, I'm going to welcome my guest for the day. Someone you might know, you love her, you've seen her, you know her. More importantly, you know her phone. Miss Jacqueline Nilsson is going to join me today and have this conversation. Come on in. Hi, lovely.
Hello.
We're doing this again. Wow. I mean, why not? Why not?
Hi, everybody.
So, yeah, while I found this on Facebook, how about you, as if they don't know, because we literally were just talking about this 2 seconds ago, let everyone know who you are, what you do, and your pronouns.
So, my name is Jacqueline Nilsson. Most of you know me as Jackie or Auntie.
Oh, yes, Auntie.
Auntie of Providence. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a member of our community. Try to kind of be a support and a promoter for all of our performing friends. I love our Providence drag community, and
you know what? And
we're here to talk about it today.
And you do it. I'm glad that you do. We were just talking about this. And you say auntie, it's funny, Grayson just literally said, auntie.
Hi.
I'm like, facts. Yeah, can't even deny that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, before we get into all the good stuff that needs to be talked about.
Oh, it's the good today,
The
kids.
good. Oh, yes. Jen Bonin, thank you for watching.
Hi, Jen Bonin.
Hey. I literally miss you so much, Jen. We need to get together ASAP. But anywho's, we'll talk about that later. We have a lot of hot topics to cover too, because as you know, personally, I skipped a week. I don't know if y'all noticed, but we skipped a week. I don't know.
It just happens.
I lost my noodle. I don't know.
That's your noodle telling you needed a break.
It was a mental break by accident.
You needed to take a little self-care time.
Yeah. So, I missed on a lot of hot topics, a lot of things to talk about. Shania Taint, hey babe, thanks for watching.
Hi, Angel.
Oh, yes, we got the Providence drag scene tuning in already.
I mean, come on.
Come on now.
We're all going to show out for Auntie. Auntie shows out for you.
Yes! This is so true. So, yeah, we got a lot to talk about, hot topic-wise, because your boy had a lot to say and couldn't say it. I'm not one of those people that just goes on to, rant, even though...
We need the recap, though.
Even though I do want to rant a lot of times. So, there's that. I don't know. Maybe if you guys encourage my rants, I might. But...
Quite the wordsmith.
Right?
Yes.
Well, let's get into these hot topics. First and foremost, something that I saw that was super, I don't know, it was kind of like a moment where I was just like, well, duh, we saw this coming. Excuse me. Juul e-cigarettes, officially banned from the U.S. market. Did you hear about that?
No, I hadn't heard that.
Oh yes, for all you vapors out there, the Juul e-cigarettes are officially banned in the U.S. The FDA ordered them removed from shelves. And apparently there's some concern with the toxicity profile of vaping with
A warning probably would have been good.
You know what? But honestly, it's kind of like the warning on cigarettes. I feel like it's always been there. That's what
I mean, does it say on the side of the package you can have this until we take it away? I mean, I know it's a theme in our country right now, but you can have it until we take it away.
It's quite the theme.
We'll get there.
No, but look at that. Look at God.
We're just drawing the parallel.
No, but literally, when they first came out, I remember there was so much concern about it not being fully tested and not fully knowing the repercussion of vaping.
Yeah.
And people were using it as a substitute or like trying to quit smoking and
Yep.
things like that. And they were constantly saying, we are not certain about the results of this. And so
Yeah.
like I feel like it's just kind of like something that we were like, I'm going to do it anyway. And now
Well,
it's-
I mean, I do partake in the vape.
I know.
Not the Juul, but I also smoked cigarettes for decades.
Oh.
And we're done with
Capiche?
that.
You're
So-
done. Oh, congratulations.
Oh yeah, we're totally done. It's gonna be a year in August that I'm done with it,
Oh,
actually.
that's T.
Yeah.
TTT.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
won't tell this story why
I like
because
that.
it'll
No.
be, if you
Oh.
know, you know.
If you know, you know. If you're that
Most
girl,
of
you're that
you
girl. Kelly Eve said, "Who are these attractive people on the TV?" Love that, Kelly. Hi,
Lisa
baby. That is a strong person to deal with their partner. Jeez.
Oh, Christy, I don't know.
Oh, Christy, I love you, but oh my gosh. If I could
Trust
be,
me, I've been dealing with Christy a lot longer than all y'all.
if I could be a fly on the wall, my goodness. But anyways, so yeah, be careful what y'all vaping, y'all. Basically, that's the point of this story.
You roll the dice anytime you even put something in your lungs.
This is true. This is true. And I'm a chimney when it comes to marijuana, so
Same.
I can't even talk too much on this one.
Yeah, I stopped smoking cigarettes. I want to be very clear about that. Just
You're like cigarettes. I did not specify anything else.
literally.
So this one I thought was just really funny, and I feel like I have to mention it. Bill Nye. He's the new Head and Shoulders mascot person situation. I was like, no, not Bill Nye. They got Bill Nye. Boy, how? And when I first saw it, I was gooped and gagged because like I literally was like, he was like playing around with some like tubes, and it looked like it was gonna be like a homage to like Bill Nye the Science Guy. Yes, they played with my emotions. My heart, I got excited, and then Head and Shoulders. I'm like, excuse me, what the
And
hell?
I feel like that happens. Like it's happened on a couple of things. The one thing that comes to mind, not that this was earth-shattering or heartbreaking to me, or actually even surprising thinking about it, but when RuPaul did the Old Navy commercial.
Oh.
And they're doing an Old Navy commercial. I'm minding my business, waiting for the
Minding
commercials
my
on Hulu
business.
to be over. And then there's RuPaul, and I'm like,
yes.
in my first, and I'm like, ooh.
RuPaul, is it? Yes. No, I remember
Sell
seeing
out
that.
by-
Yes,
So
that
that's
was
my
my
first
thought.
thought.
That's literally my
But
first
then
thought.
you're like, oh, but when it's someone like Bill Nye,
It
you're
hurt.
like,
It hurt my
who
heart.
hurt you that you have to do this?
It touched me so
What's your
much.
Venmo?
Right. It angered me so much that I had to put it down here. I was like, I need to talk about this. I need to understand.
Bill Nye.
I need to know
I
how
hope
everyone.
he's making his coin. Get it?
I mean, I'm not gonna, stop the man from making his bag, but come on.
It's
They
a
played
little-
with my childhood. I was upset.
sad.
I was saddened, angered, if you will. But I guess we can move on from this one for now. I'm not gonna say it's not gonna pop up on the Instagram. I'm just saying the Instagram.
It needs to be talked about, to be honest.
We're
not finished.
Commercialism needs to be stopped. Okay. That's
Literally, because it's, what is it, July 1st.
Right.
And did you all notice all of the apps on your phone went back from rainbow to
I
unicorn?
did. Oh yes,
Oh, the
rainbow be gone.
homosexual is gone.
Yep. Your soul has been cleansed.
We have moved to the clearance rack at Target.
Oh my God, we are in the clearance right
We're at
now.
the clearance rack at Target. That's where we are.
We can have a whole nother episode about commercialism. Let's get into it. We can get into it if you want. Oh, Christy's watching. She said, "I love you too." Sheesh. Love you, Christy. Okay. Anyway, moving forward. So, have you seen this show, The Boys?
No, I have not seen this show.
Okay, The Boys is the
What is
show
it on?
Amazon.
Okay.
Amazon Prime. And it's a really good show. I'm not gonna give away too much, but it's about like if superheroes were in real life. Like how they would behave and things like that. Kind of giving like evil Superman vibes, but whatever. It's a really good show. But the thing about this show is that it is very rated R, so to speak. I don't know if you guys watch. If you guys watch it, let me know how you feel about it. The Boys on Amazon, but they have changed the game for watching things on Amazon Prime now.
Amazon against the racy?
No. So because of the fact that this show is unlike any other show that they've produced, and it shows a lot of things. I don't want to give away too much. It shows a lot of racy scenes and interesting, scenarios.
I have to know though. You're not going to spoil it. I have to know, like, is there homosexual content?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a
Okay,
little bit.
because
just a
I
little
can't
bit.
deal with all the streams.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of street.
Sorry,
it's a lot of street.
y'all.
There's some.
I can still watch.
Yeah, actually, it's yeah, you would like it. Actually, yeah. It's a
Superheroes.
female love interest.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Yeah. But so they because of the show, it prompted them to create. Hold on, what's it called? To create a new standard and practice department.
Ooh.
Yeah. So other streaming services like Netflix have always had this department, and it's basically a fancy way of saying that these people have to kind of like view and shield us from things that might be seen as inappropriate, and like kind of check their content. Jen Bonus said, "Oh no, boobies are so scary." No, but like so other streaming networks have these departments already, but Amazon, because of the show, they had to.
If you look at like the American Motion Picture.
Yeah. So they didn't have it before because they didn't have anything that was.
So they're coming out with ratings.
Yeah,
or is it a
and
rating
it's kind of a precursor. So when you're watching it now, in the beginning, they have to say, none of the animals in these scenes were harmed or any scenes of bestiality, and it's a full-on new clause that
Trigger
they have
warning.
to. Yes, they have to do it now, and it's been brought on by the show The Boys because previously they didn't have it, and other streaming networks are like, yeah, like where have you been? Like get on board.
Got it.
I'm surprised you haven't seen The Boys though. If you haven't seen The Boys, please watch it.
Actually, it's funny because I pay for Prime and I hardly ever watch any content on
Literally,
Prime, and
literally.
I'm missing out.
I'm still going half on it, and I don't use it usually. And now that show's on there, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna use this. Why not?
I mean, it's there. Let's do it.
Why not?
But
Why
I
not?
also tend to watch less when it gets nice outside. I want outside.
This is true. I honestly this Secrets for Decorations a lot of times.
I'm a winter hermit though. I have it on a lot. I'm not necessarily watching.
It's on in the background, or I'm like sitting in front of it, and I find myself on the home screen a lot, just like staring at the apps. Like
I just put it on for my dog when I leave because he likes it.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I don't do that for Molly. I put the light on.
Molly, I'm gonna turn it on before I leave. Don't you worry.
I can't.
You're gonna run his light bill up.
Listen, my light bill gonna be sky high because I swear I work to pay for her. Like that's it. She's here.
As you should.
She's here more than I am.
As
so.
you should. I will always take the dog side. You know who I am.
You know what? As you should. As you should. Have you heard about this kerfluffle? And that's the best way I can describe it with Southwest Airlines.
No.
Oh God! All right. Well, hopefully you don't plan on traveling anytime this summer.
I'm not it with Southwest.
Not with Southwest.
Especially not now. Apparently, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Not with Southwest. No. So literally Southwest. I think last week they had to cancel like over half their flights
there were
or
a
something
lot
like
of
that.
cancellations.
And people were pissed. So this week, actually, airline pilots were protesting.
Wow,
Yeah,
really?
more than 1,300 of the Southwest pilots outside of the Dallas airport, were protesting, saying that there's ongoing staff shortages, inadequate pay, which we have all experienced, and poor working conditions.
Wow.
I'm surprised you haven't heard about this. And so a lot of summertime travel might be delayed, y'all. So look out for a lot of delays if you're planning on traveling.
Stand up for yourselves.
Yeah.
Strike and do your thing.
I'm surprised it took this long.
Your union is there. You are paying your dues. Get it.
I'm surprised it took this long because they've been having a lot of issues as of.
Well, the big problem is that
right
people care about their jobs and they like their jobs and they want to do their jobs.
Yep.
People want to work.
Yeah.
People don't want to be out of work.
Yeah.
People don't want to be
I think it's one of those industries that COVID kind of exposed a lot of the flaws in that industry. And
I agree.
I think they probably haven't really been able to jump back from that just yet, or able to
then when you couple with the gas prices being the fuel prices being the way that they are, and just like everything else, these airlines are just gouging the hell out of prices.
Very true.
Where is it going? Because it's not going to your employees.
Oh, Miss Mama Calypso's watching. She said, "Hi, babies.
Hi.
Hey, love you, girl. Thanks for watching." But yeah, they've been affected triple time by everything that's been going on. Inflation, gas prices, poor wages, and the ongoing staff shortage. That's apparent. That's very apparent.
Yeah.
I've noticed it. When any type of airline service as of the past 6 months, has been ongoing short staff.
Absolutely.
I'm like, listen.
But like, and I know that it's frustrating, and like, I don't have anywhere urgent to be. If I were to fly, like, it's totally for recreation at this point, so I can shut up. But like,
I can't.
People like should support these airline workers, y'all, because like, it is not their fault, and they are trying.
Yeah.
And I know it's frustrating, but like,
and food service too. That's the thing for me. Like, just
don't
be
get
patient.
me started. I could give you.
I know,
food
but you
service,
like, just
healthcare
be patient.
workers, retail workers in general. Anytime you have another human being in front, people are trying to help.
I have such a soft spot for food service workers because I did it for so long, and like I just like you just have to be patient. Like you really just have to be patient. That's really the name of the game because like they're struggling as hard as you might be thinking that you're struggling. They are struggling. Like I used to be front of the house manager, and it was awful.
Oh no, you couldn't pay me enough. You could, no. I tried that. I thought I was cute one summer, and I'm like, I'm gonna wait tables. Yeah, totally. First of all, I can't carry shit, so that's a problem. Second of all, I dumped every tray.
Part of it.
Every tray. Second of all, I was like, bitch, you want to what? I got it. No. I was not the one.
Give you my best Kim Kardashian.
No, I will tell you.
Nobody wants to wag.
I will. That's why I will tip the house down.
True.
I will tip all your food service.
Yes,
workers,
please do.
Please.
Tip.
I don't care if they're at McDonald's. I don't care if they're at a 5-star restaurant. Pay these people.
Please, seriously. Kathleen said, hi, Jackie. And Jen Bonus said, chef 20 years. I'm bulletproof. Jen, you know what? You are bulletproof. Is that why you have this, like this freaking bulletproof person? Like, I can't. Jen is untouchable.
Jen Bona knows. Like, cheers, Jen.
Cheers to Jen. Like, seriously,
like, I get you, girl.
No, like, the food service will give you tough skin, for sure. For sure.
Toughen you right up. It's like life boot camp.
It really is.
It is.
If nothing else, it taught me how to stand in a hot kitchen.
That's it.
There's that. So another thing that I really wanted to get at, that we wanted to talk about before we end the hot topics section is Johnny Depp. Did you hear?
I heard.
I mean, not the whole case thing because I'm not getting entangled in that craziness.
Oh, that's a whole.
It's a whole thing.
Series in itself.
No, wait, hold on, pause. Jen said no, it's the weed. I'm Jen. That's what it is for me, baby. Listen.
Also, not wrong though.
Listen, people will be like, "Oh my God, you're so like stone faced. You're so like," and I'm like, "No, it's the weed. I'm just high."
I just have to say, I just thought of it right now. Have you ever seen the movie Waiting?
Waiting.
It's an older movie. Ryan Reynolds, isn't it? It's probably 10-something years old.
No.
But it's a comedy, but it's not.
Have y'all seen Waiting?
Have y'all seen Waiting? And it's about like food service. We're in like an Applebee's type of a place. Like, and if you have worked at all ever in food service, as front of the house, back of the house, just whatever, like this is so funny.
I'm gonna have to watch this. Okay.
It's so funny because it's true. It's true.
I mean, I'm into it. But no, Johnny Depp, not, like putting aside the whole situation with Amber, he actually is reprising his role in Pirates of the Caribbean. He got as Captain Jack, in case you guys didn't know. He actually got a $300 million deal with Disney.
It's crazy. I mean, those numbers are just crazy to me.
Wild.
Like,
okay, paying off the lawyers.
I mean, after getting blocked from doing that for years. Yeah, like, you gotta give him his flowers.
I heard that was it Zoe Saldana? Zoe Kravitz was supposed to play the role, actually, and if he wasn't gonna.
I would also not be angry at that.
I wouldn't be mad at that, right? I was like, honestly, I kind of would.
Actually, please cast Zoe.
And like Hollywood has
cast everybody like
Hollywood has this big obsession with gender bending roles now too. And
really?
I'm here for it. I think Zoe Saldana would have crushed it.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I'm glad Johnny Depp got his gig back.
I mean, he's the OG.
He's the OG.
You gotta that's
After all that,
I'm just happy that the guy that works at Disney World that plays he doesn't play Captain Jack in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh no.
He plays Johnny Depp as Captain Jack. Like this guy is like. And you get your coin now. Like, they're going to put him back on the schedule.
Christy said Waiting is Prime, right? Waiting is on Prime?
It might be on Prime. It's been a long time.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Is that a fact you were saying, Christy?
I don't know. Is that a fact, Christy, or a question? Because I don't know. I haven't seen Waiting.
Because she's in, like, lesbian knowledge gear. Like,
no, I'm so mad.
that's probably
we
facts.
love that
That's
about
probably
her.
facts.
Also, Quan is watching, my child. Thank you for watching.
Quan,
He said,
Quan,
he said,
I didn't see you on Tuesday, bitch,
Ooh.
and I need to hook up with you because I got you some money.
He said,
It's not a lot of money. Don't get excited.
He said,
but I got
good
you
morning,
some.
Father and Jack. I'm mad. The gay good morning. No, but like, Tuesday was rough, girl. I was going to go out.
It was a long night, but it was lit, though.
I didn't get out of work until 9:30, and you know the rule, you have to have your music in by 9:30, so...
Okay, but you
Yeah.
could come support.
You're right, and then I was tired, boots. You know, once I get up and smoke.
Okay, I feel that.
Yeah, girl.
I give you that. I give you that.
Once I sit.
And we all know the House of Neptune always comes out and supports.
Oh,
They're
yes.
always
Oh, yes,
there,
absolutely.
whether anybody's
Absolutely.
performing in the house or
Whether,
not.
exactly.
They're there for everybody,
We're there.
and like give it up for the House of
Aw,
Neptune because they're my
thank
favorite
you,
babies.
baby.
Like I love y'all.
Oh, we love you. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank
Yes.
you. No, it honestly means the world to me. But anyways, let's move on just a little bit. Christy says, I mean, it's really good. Sorry, it's on Hulu. Gotcha.
Fact check.
Thank you. Thank
Work
you.
it out, yes.
Because, like, I really want to see this now. So, I feel like I've heard it before, but I just didn't, it didn't click.
You have to let me know when you watch it. I want your feedback.
Oh,
on it
okay. I'll
because
shoot you a text.
It's gonna be great.
And lastly, you know, we're gonna leave the hot topics on a good note, because we have a lot to talk about that may or may not be perceived as good.
It's necessary. It's necessary.
Necessary evil, if you will. The BET Awards. Did you see any of that?
I saw clips after the fact.
I
Yeah.
did same.
Yeah.
Not even gonna lie. I usually don't watch award
And I
shows.
heard really, really mixed reviews from a
Same.
lot of folks, which really kind of floored me because I didn't see any real standouts that I thought were terrible.
Same. So I heard they had a lot of audio issues. A lot of the performances they couldn't hear themselves in the earpieces.
Yeah.
And as a performer, you know that that's really hard to do, especially live.
Oh, you can.
There were a lot of like really good fashions apparently on the runway. A lot of good. Like I saw a lot of good clips of those.
Oh, yeah.
Those were good. I mean, not gonna lie, Saucy Santana. No, it was a no for me. It's a boot. It's a boot. And a literal boot because the fuzzy green boots, I couldn't deal. I don't know, y'all. What was your favorite looks from the BET Awards? But what's her name? Summer Walker looked good.
Always,
came
though.
out with the boobs
Why
out.
you gag every time?
I don't know why I'm gagging. She brings it to every ball.
Flawless.
No, there were a few of them, and like I was showing Dave earlier, the comparisons that some people had, and I heard a lot of, like you said, a lot of mixed reviews.
Yeah.
About people's performances too.
All I gotta say is, y'all.
Calypso said, I thought a fuzzy boot. I thought it was cute.
Calypso loves a fuzzy boot. We
You
all
do
know.
love a fuzzy boot,
You
girl.
love
We
a
know
fuzzy
that.
boot.
Listen, I will take your fuzzy boot over what Saucy did anytime. I'm sorry. It was eh. It was giving very Mucinex. I don't know.
It's gonna take me a lot to like erase in my mind. I know those tweets that Saucy like. It's a long time. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yes, they were talking about it when Saucy was here for Pride.
But when you talk about children, I don't even like children. Okay, and we all know like. I don't like children until you're like 19, 20, and then I love you.
Cut it
Please come
out.
to me.
I'm dead.
It's not a lie. Everyone will tell you.
No, it's
like,
facts.
no, for real.
No, it's facts.
But like, you don't comfort babies like that. You don't like.
No, that was messed up.
Mm-mm.
When somebody told me that, it was when Saucy was here
And I
for
hope
Pride.
when Blue Ivy grows up, she smacks.
You know she will.
Come on.
You know who her mammy is. Miss Bootylicious herself.
I mean,
Jen Bunny said, "Girls save." No, but like there were a few standouts. I really liked Mooney Long's performance, but I feel like she was suffering also from not being able to hear herself, and she's a new performer.
and that's really hard when you build yourself up and you're shooting your shot, and it's like.
What's her name? Chloe did really
Always,
oof.
though.
That performance was hot.
Fire.
I was so into it.
Fire.
I was so into it. I was like, girl, you're doing it. I miss Chloe and Halle, but she's doing it.
Speaking of Beyonce, like, you know, she's on the payroll there. Like, you can't. No.
It's true. It's Beyonce.
No.
Like, y'all got my
if
name.
you're performing at level 10, you're already losing.
Yeah.
Like,
She said, if y'all got my name attached to you, nothing better, nothing more
Step it
less
up.
than exceptional.
Absolutely.
Literally. But I mean, all around, I think it was a successful award show. Like I said, I don't really watch award shows. I'm not that into it. I really don't care that much. But it was cute. You know, it was giving what it
And
needs
cheers
to
to the BET Awards and congratulations all the way.
Glad we still have the BET Awards, even though BET is owned by a white person now. Whatever. We're not gonna talk about that. You know,
Just silently true.
minor aggressions. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Mm. As is life. But I think I'm gonna end it there because we have a lot of things that I could talk about that I could mention that might drag down the morale.
Go on and on. I mean, Beyonce came out with a new single. We should
Oh
really
my
kind of check that
gosh!
out.
I know.
And
Listen, Beyonce is really
the
giving it to the
Renaissance is
girls.
coming.
Wait, what? Wait, Calypso said, wait, you can't not mention Lil Nasty. What happened with Lil Nasty? I didn't see that clip, girl. What's going on? What happened? Spill the tea. But Beyonce came out with a new single, Killing the Girls, with the house music reference, and Drake too. And I am rocking to this Drake album.
And
I'm
there
not gonna
has
lie.
been some back and
I thought
forth.
it was
Like
going-
people either love this album or hate this album.
Very true. Very
So
true.
and I haven't listened to a lot of it. Like I only heard a little bit of it, so I've spent a little time with it. But
How they nominate a feature and not the main artist. They had Jack Harlow there and not Lil Nas. This is true. That's why Lil Nas' new song said, fuck BET.
I mean,
Fuck BET.
if anybody's gonna call anybody out, it's Lil Nas.
It's gonna be Lil Nas.
Please, please.
Lil Nas is the clapback king, for real.
As he should, and it's what we need.
It's
so,
really
we're
what
not
we need.
mad.
I'm not even mad at
We're
all.
not mad.
But it's
I'll
cute.
just give one more shout out.
Shout out.
Since I know y'all are curious. Lady Gaga got to London yesterday
Work.
and is in official rehearsal for the Chromatica Ball, which happens in 17 days.
I wish I had shots prepared because I forgot how many times this bitch could work Gaga into a conversation.
I had to mention my girl.
You know what? I'm not even mad.
Yes,
oh my
so
gosh.
we're in official rehearsal for the
Oh.
European wing, and then until she comes on home to Boston to us.
Yes,
So she's coming.
I'm dead.
She's coming in a month, y'all.
Oh my god, and Calypso says the nod to Vogue, yes, with Billy Porter, that was everything.
Okay.
That was everything.
Actually,
no,
that
that
was
literally was
absolutely.
everything. I was here for it. Not gonna lay on me. From Legendary.
From Legendary.
Was tweeting about it, and she was not happy. She was not happy. She said, I didn't get invited, but I saw my
She has
moves on
feelings.
stage.
She has a lot
She has
of
a lot of feelings. She's like, I didn't get invited, but I saw my moves on stage. And then she said, not the Nogers in the background, which is people who do the Vogue movements but don't actually know Vogue culture.
Exactly.
I was like, ooh, not the Nogers, girl.
You're doing the Madonna video. Vogue.
Basically, that's what, yes. And Naomi was feeling some type of way, and I was.
I'm friends with that girl on Facebook.
I was drinking
Let
it
me
up.
tell you,
I was drinking it up.
every day she serves.
I was like,
I'm here
tell me
for
more,
it.
Naomi.
I'm not a big Twitter person,
No.
but
I be peeping. I be just watching.
Sometimes.
Just be watching and scrolling, girl. No, but that was a really good moment for the for nothing else, for bonding the Vogue culture with award show and
10 out of 10.
bringing that into the forefront with the black and brown community. 10.
Well,
10
and
to
when they're
that.
doing it the right way and they're letting black and brown people lead the way.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I love you, Madge, but not Madonna.
That was just a slap in the face, and we all knew it. But
Well,
anyways,
I digress.
I digress. Right.
I digress and I dissent.
And I just also Ariana Grande turned 29. Way to make me feel old.
Happy birthday, Ari.
I was like, oh, what? She's 29? That's gross. I'm sorry. I'm only 24. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Yeah. 24.
Italian, you can't tell. You
Black.
can't tell, I dare you.
Listen, I'm black and Puerto Rican. You can't tell. I got both of them. I'm gonna be looking like this for another 10 to 15 at least.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, Lily Whitehouse is watching. Hey!
Stop it.
Oh my
Hey,
gosh.
girl.
Hey, Lily girl. Lily is so out of pocket and I live.
Seriously,
Really,
that
I
person
live
is
for you.
one of my best friends,
Oh
and
my gosh.
seriously, I'd live for you,
Yo,
girl.
with definition of out of pocket, and I live for this bitch. But anywho's, I mean, we could do this all day, y'all. But I feel like it's about that time for us to get into our topic of conversation for
It's
the
about dance time.
episode. It's about dance time. Yeah. So I'm gonna do something that I've never done before ever in the history of this show. In the history of doing Tea with Taylor in 6 seasons, y'all, I've never done this, and I'm gonna do something real quick. Hold on. Oh. For you. Oh yes. This is happening because
I'm in the woo.
you know what?
seat.
Because it's just really important, I think, that we talk about this. And I am not leading this conversation, and I want it to be very visually aware that I am not leading this conversation because I am not a woman.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you for being here for this conversation. And I want you to lead this conversation. This is the season of conversationalists, as I'm calling it. So yeah, you're the first to sit in the chair. How's it feel?
I mean, no pressure. I'm gonna kill it. Let's
No
go.
no pressure whatsoever.
All I gotta say is yes.
So yeah, first and foremost, I want to start off our conversation about women's rights and human rights in general with a little question for the viewers and for you as well that we are going to attempt to answer throughout this. We probably, we'll see how it goes.
This question's gonna be the vein of the conversation.
Right, we'll see how it goes, y'all.
Yeah.
See, leading already. I knew I chose
I'm
the right
sorry.
one. I love it. No, I love it. I literally live. So, I really want to impress on you to compare the fight that we have had in the past for human rights to our fight that we have now. And ask yourself this one question. How far do you think we have come? And you can gauge that in any way, shape, or form. But how far do you think we've come in this struggle is the best word that comes to mind for me right now, with fighting for human rights and fighting for women's rights as a whole. And first, I'm gonna give you a little bit of background, just a little bit of background, a little bit of stats, and the women's rights movement is what I want to talk about first, or the women's liberation movement, which was a diverse and huge social movement, mostly in the U.S., because our European brothers and sisters kind of came along a little bit.
Everybody takes their own time.
They took their time, but they came along a little bit. But mostly in the U.S. in the 1960s to the 1970s and 80s, which saw equal rights, more opportunities, greater personal freedoms, and was considered the second wave of feminism. And so for you, I want to let you take it away, and I want you to start with, what is feminism?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not where that we're
Yeah.
going to start.
Yeah.
So, I feel like every female identifying person and non-female identifying people can really speak to what feminism means to them. What it means to me and what it all actually boils down to is just equal rights. I'm not here to say that I am better than any male presenting No, I'm not here to say that.
T.
It's not about feminists want to be better. It's not about women want to take over. It's not about anything like that. It's about we want to be treated the same. So it's very akin to other movements with marginalized folks. The BLM movement is the first one absolutely that comes to mind. It's a very similar struggle. And when you talk about the suffragettes that had done the work, and I'm talking about 1800s people. I'm not even talking about 1900s. Okay, way back to 1800s. I did a little homework for this show.
We love a little homework. I did a little homework too. Come on now.
And it goes back to, and I don't have any notes in front of me, but it was the late 1860s, and they were talking about literal founding fathers of the country. And their wives writing letters, like just please treat us as human beings.
And it's
treat us as part of the society. And even when you look at the Constitution and you look at the 19th Amendment, which gives women the right to vote, it really doesn't say that. It doesn't say that.
It doesn't.
It says we will grant any citizen regardless of sex or gender. That's what it actually says.
You're right.
So the wording is still really
and that's something that women and people have had to deal with for a very long time, jumping through loopholes and trying to accomplish goals that honestly feel like it's something that is common decency almost.
It really is. Especially when you figure that the majority of these people that you're talking about that we will classify as women have been the actual birthing people. Have been, and I also want to call out to transmasc folks that do have the capability and want and need sometimes to be birthing people, because don't get lost in this movement, because
No.
feminism is very much
Very
still about
much.
you.
Very much.
And I don't mean that in a non-masculine kind of way, because there's a big umbrella.
No, but like you said, it's leaking into other human rights and into the other struggles that we have been fighting for so long with like LGBTQ rights and things along those lines. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they start attacking voting again. Like at this point, it seems like we're going backwards.
You know, and to kind of go back and answer your question, you know, as far as like where has feminism or even, you know, women's rights, however you want to coin it, how has it gone, so to speak? It's like a bell curve now.
That's very, yes.
You know,
yes,
so like we
accurate.
started down here, and then we came up, and then, you know, Susan B. Anthony came along, and she like
Susan
rallied her
B.
girls.
Yes.
Okay, and she said, "Come on, let's go. Come on, Gloria Steinem. Come on, let's go." And then here we are, and we're voting.
Oh my
And we
God.
have our rights, and we're doing the thing, and we're talking about it, and power, girl power. And then all of a sudden last week,
Boom. Boom.
and we're done.
And listen,
We're not done,
listen.
but
And listen, like you said last week, but like this has been a struggle for women since the 1800s.
yeah.
Like the 1800s. In 1839, I looked this up. 1839, Mississippi granted women the right to own land, but with permission from their husbands. And that's something that had to be said. You had to you didn't have to allow
And
a
precedents like that have lasted into the 1970s and 1980s.
literally
Into
as a
this day.
statue. As a statue.
If I walked into a hospital right now and I was like, "Take it out," they would say,
Yep.
first sentence out of their mouth, "What does your husband say?"
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Regardless of the fact that I'm a queer woman, regardless of the fact that I am of a certain age where I am not going to have children, clearly.
You
I
said
would
no.
still need to jump through these hoops.
Mm.
And I will still, at the end of the day, probably be denied my request.
Most likely. They'll find a way to deny it.
Absolutely. Now more than ever.
Under a guise of something else, of course.
Yes.
And that speaks to something that's a really big issue with women's rights as well, is discrimination against women in many different facets. The first, so we talked about the second wave, which was considered the second wave, the women's liberation movement, and in the 1840 was the first wave. I think 1840. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the first wave, which focused on legal rights like women's suffrage, with voting, and discrimination against women in the workplace.
Yep.
To this day, the gender pay gap is still an exponential 75% difference, I want to say. It's insane.
Easily.
It's absolutely insane that
Easily.
something...
They have these apps now that you can go on to kind of check your wages. I can't think of the name of the app, not that I'm trying to endorse anyone else. But you can go on and be like, "I'm an optician," right? So I can type in optician. And they will ask you your gender.
Oh, good.
Which is interesting.
That is interesting.
So, you know,
I would do both. just
I
to
gotta see. So
Yes,
exactly.
literally.
So I put in female, and I put in male, and there is not a third option, by the way. And
Of course.
I am telling you, the gap that I have seen just in this research, it's not little.
No.
It's in the 20 percentile.
Yeah, it's a big gap.
Yeah.
I was like, what? That's, again, something I was a little bit ignorant to prior to this, because it's something I didn't have to
And again,
worry
I've
about.
been doing what I'm doing. I have my 26-year anniversary as an optician.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
And I've worked in a lot of different practice settings. Now I just want to call out, since we're talking about strong women, like the fact that my boss is an amazing woman. I work in an all-female practice now. I don't have to worry about being treated subpar, but not everybody has that.
No,
liberty.
that's
So,
rare.
But I do want to call out, where I work, they're great.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's something to
I'm
not be
fortunate.
taken lightly, because not everyone can say they like their job. Trust me.
Oh, and trust me, my job before this, people will tell you I went home in tears every day. But
Oh no.
yeah, it was terrible.
That's terrible.
It was terrible.
So okay, sheesh. I mean, again, something I didn't have to experience. Again, one of my friends was telling me, one of my female friends was telling me, "Hey, I got to get home because it's getting dark."
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh my God, women have to think about walking home alone." That's something I never have to think about.
I am telling you, every time, first of all, I will shout out that I have really phenomenal friends and family members
Of
and support
course.
systems. And I don't leave that club by myself.
Mm.
I have people that literally, Kira Stone will put me in her car. I'm parked over here on the one-way street. She will drive me all around the block so that I don't have to walk like 20 feet
Oh my
alone.
gosh, we love
But
her.
like, and my friends will tell you instantly, when I start walking on a city street, I will take my keys out and I put them just like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm ready, and I don't even think about it anymore. And
Yeah.
how sad is that?
Right. That's like the norm.
That I could be walking through the neighborhood and still,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah. And one of the stats I came upon was women or girls face violence and discrimination on a daily. 1 in 3 women experience either domestic or sexual violence or sexual abuse on a daily basis. 1 in 3. That's frightening.
Literally.
I was like, oh my
That
god.
means it's a lot of people you know.
A lot of people.
lot.
And the violence can span in very different ways.
Yeah.
So that's also something to look out for. It's like it's not always something that you would think is like clear or like noted. Like, oh my god, this person is experiencing violence, because it's not always clear.
Yep. It's not, and sometimes it does get very fuzzy. And I'm not going to say that women are never the aggressors, because there are definitely
Right.
exceptions to that. And,
there's
there's
exceptions to
definitely,
everything.
I mean, people are people, and there's going to be great ones and there's going to be crappy ones.
Mhm.
But, just by the sheer, it affects everything that I do. What time I'll go to the grocery store, what time I'll take my dog out for a walk. It's a very conscious thing.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Like I said, I was like
Even
so...
with things like going out on dates and whatever.
Yes.
Like, I won't.
Another,
Like,
and like another one of my female friends was like, yeah, I send my location to one of my male friends
Mhm.
every
Every time.
time. Because I want to
Every
make sure
time.
that I'm safe, and that if this person decides to do something,
absolutely.
and I'm like,
and I
my
will
God.
fully tell said suitor, oh, is that your license plate?
I'm
sending that to my bestie.
Come on now.
No, I'm going to.
I live. Listen.
You have to be transparent
Listen.
about it.
I mean, I live for full transparency, but like, it's something I didn't realize was such a huge thing that
Yeah.
I didn't have to personally suffer with, and like, it kind of surprised me a little bit, but it also was like it made me angry. Like, what could we do?
And I have to be honest, it should make you angry.
Yeah.
It should.
What can we do to bring ourselves as a community, as a whole, as a country, to not have to face these things and not have to worry about these kinds of like fears for womankind, for queerkind, for people in general? Like, and another thing, another sad fact that I came across was 70% of human trafficking is made up of women.
Yes.
70%. That's
Yep.
wild.
That's another like little piece of like common of current events. As how do you say her name? Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh, I was like, who? I don't
Ghislaine
know.
Maxwell was sentenced this week.
Oh, yes.
And after
Yes.
all of this and I can't even tell you, I'm bad at I don't know how many counts of human trafficking it was.
So many.
They were literally all little girls, and she got sent to the prison in Danbury, Connecticut, which is known as the Country Club prison.
Ah.
That's the prison Martha Stewart went to. That's the prison Teresa Giudice went to. And no prison is country club. I know that it's not,
Come
but
on,
like
Teresa Caputo.
they're gonna put her in her own little suite.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like rehab, or like...
no,
like,
throw that bitch in Rikers.
Seriously.
Jen Pop.
Yes!
Come on.
Jen Pop, bitch!
Let's
no,
go.
No, seriously. Like, it's insane. And now that since you brought that up, also this local politician that hit Jennifer Rourke in the face. Jennifer, I'm here for you, girl. I am so sorry that happened to you.
I am so sorry that happened to
But-
you. I was actually at that rally.
Holy crap!
And
The
the
audacity.
rally, for the most part, was very, very peaceful. There was one person that was a little outspoken on stage when the speakers were happening. I left when I saw the police presence moving in.
As you should.
Because I just can't.
But
it's
the
not my vibe.
audacity, you're at a woman's
And it was the
rights
next day
rally.
that I saw that. So incidentally, the politician that hit her was also an off-duty police officer.
He was also an off-duty police officer. Absolutely.
And he got the very stringent punishment of leave
right.
with pay.
Hey, with pay. With pay. And then he decided to drop out of the race 2 days after, which you probably should have anyway.
Yeah.
But if the tables were turned, and I'm just going to say this so we can get back to it, if her as a black woman would have hit an off-duty police officer
Hell
who was a male,
Oh, they would have taken her right
dead.
down.
She might be dead.
She might be dead.
She might be dead.
There was a good likelihood of
Yeah,
that.
this motherflower is getting paid leave and removing himself from the race.
No.
After taking it upon himself to physically attack a woman at a woman's rally. Like, the irony of it all. Like, to attack a woman, period.
How?
Unacceptable. But also at a woman's, in the space where we're
And
talking
literally,
about women's rights.
in the space, and it was after the rally, and it was after a very positive message from a lot of really, really organized speakers.
I mean, she must
And
have
there
had
weren't
a-
only women that were speaking. There were evangelists that were speaking. There were male people that were speaking. Like, and the vibe was so good the whole night. I had no idea.
She must have had him real pressed or something, because that's crazy. And I saw the videos, and I'm like,
And when I
what?
see that had happened after everything else was so like harmonious, the only thing I can think is that was targeted. So I don't know that for a fact. That's my disclaimer. But it just feels to me like that man went down there and caused shit.
To cause
To
shit.
start shit.
Like, bro.
Like,
like,
you know, it's not your space. You're gonna go there and support, or
get out.
Or
Get
don't.
like that.
Just don't.
That just made me mad. I was
And
like,
I mean, it goes back to the original, like, what? You don't think women have the right to assemble and to, like, have a peaceful protest as it is in the Constitution?
and in no way is it acceptable for you to attack a woman. In no way, shape, or form. What goes through your brain? First of all,
I'm glad I wasn't there because I would have jumped on a bitch like a spider monkey.
I mean,
you know, I would've.
listen, same.
I'm not afraid to take a hit,
Listen,
y'all. Everybody knows.
I can't. And Calypso says that we're not even in one of those extreme Christian states. You're right, girl.
Seriously.
You're right, girl.
Imagine being in Texas right now.
Right. And so, I mean, with
God bless
that,
you, Texas.
with that, thank you for the transition, girl. With that, you know, we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. We
We
mentioned
gotta
it
talk about
earlier.
absolutely.
The overturning of Roe versus Wade. Oh my God. So the most recent update that I heard is that each state is rallying to try to kind of have their own version of what may happen. But I'm gonna let you take it away. The overturning of Roe versus Wade. That you let us know what it is and how this affects you and
Okay, well,
whatever else you want to say about it.
I would hope that everyone would know Roe versus Wade was the judgment that was handed down that granted women the right to a safe abortion.
And I believe that started in the 1800s as well.
It did not.
When was that?
Roe versus Wade actually got passed in 1973.
Ah, okay. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Much more recent than I thought.
Very, very recent. And I had actually some time ago watched a documentary about the folks that are behind it, Roe versus Wade, or, you know, monikers for what their real name is. They were kind of subjects by circumstance.
Okay.
They in no way, shape, or form planned to be the face of a movement. And when you look at what the face of the movement is, I mean, they were actually a rather masculine presenting woman.
Okay.
That, you know, was really through this court case, and it's very, very recent. I mean, full disclosure, guys, I was born in 1975.
Ooh.
So my entire lifetime, abortion has been a legal right, but it's not that far. Like
It's not.
1970.
It's really not. That's why I was like, I thought it was
And
one of those
again-
things that happened in the late 1800s.
Right.
But
So
I guess not.
no, it was much, much, much more recent.
My
So the fact that, you know, women had to, if you think about even TV shows that you watch right now, like I always think about the show Mad Men. Have you ever seen the show
Yes.
Mad Men?
Yes.
Okay, and I use this show a lot to juxtapose my experiences with misogyny. So I'll say to my friends, "Girl, I was trapped in an episode of Mad Men today. Like this man all but smacked my hiney. Like, but you know, it's like very that like women were still kind of property,
Right,
and
right,
that was
right.
in the 40s and 50s. So it's not that long ago. Think about my parents were born in
Into
1949.
Yeah, they were born into that.
So when they were born, one generation ahead of me, women were still property. You couldn't, as a woman, go to the bank and be like, I got $500, I want to open a checking account. They'd be like, where's your husband?
Absolutely not. Literally. You could have a joint account with your husband.
Barely.
Barely.
Could have a joint account. What they did is a lot of women went and had accounts with stores individually,
Mm-hmm.
and then they would bill the husbands.
Again, a discrimination against women in different aspects of life.
Yeah, so
Constantly.
Roe v. Wade is still pretty recent, and it's still pretty,
Yeah.
and it's still a really tender, like, people that were there and present in those protests, they're still alive.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Could you imagine?
Can you imagine like
being that suffragette that showed up and
Right.
showed out and campaigned and fought the fight and like rolled
Just-
up their sleeves, and then that decision comes down?
just to see it be overturned in your lifetime at that?
So that's why I say it's a bell curve.
Oh yes, the bell curve is very accurate. Unfortunately, I just think it's again another step back, another regression for us as a country, and honestly, it's something that I don't think we should be focusing on with all the things that we have going on in this country.
Well, and that's the other thing is I've seen like so many posts on social media and like different opinions and like this has been a smokescreen. It's a smokescreen because the January 6th hearings are going
that's what
on.
in the January 6th committee. This thing has been
I
dragging.
mean, we're not gonna lie. The timing is really.
It is
like,
real good. That's how I feel about award shows. I'm like, I feel like award shows are just like a guise to get you to be like distracted from what's actually happening, which is why I don't
absolutely,
really watch
and it
them.
works.
And it works.
Like
Which
it does work. But like so when you're talking about like the January 6th hearings, and we all know, like I'm not gonna say trigger any names, but like we all know who
Former
could be
social media
potentially
influencer. Yeah.
have to pay the piper, and nope, we're gonna swerve you over here. And women are going to be the one that take the brunt for it this time. But I'm going to tell you something else.
They already did. He grabbed him by the pussy, remember? Yeah. They already took the brunt.
I mean...
Sips wine.
literally. Oh, see, I'm done.
Oh no.
Sad face. I don't know. There might be an assistant out there.
There might be an
If there's an assistant out there, like, I don't know.
I mean, we could maybe have an assistant somewhere out there eating Cheez-Its.
Eating Cheez-Its.
No, but
yeah, so, I mean, to shift the focus and to kind of, like, bait and switch a little bit, like,
Right.
that is classic American imperialism, and that's literally what it is.
yes.
It's good old-fashioned American imperialism. Oh,
Is
you're
it?
my favorite.
Yeah, he's my favorite too, actually. But yeah, it's just
Shout out to the crew. Hey!
My boyfriend, the love of my life, is behind the scenes today, and
10 out of 10.
I'm
You recommend.
literally gushing, guys.
I love you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna not talk about it.
We on camera. Come say hello to the kids.
Oh my gosh, I can't even.
Oh, no. Ah, he's gonna do it out.
While we're trying to talk about Roe v. Wade, I
Yes.
can't. Anywho, so yeah, it's honestly the hugest digression I've seen in a long time.
Absolutely, and it even adds insult to injury to think that, like, it's not even an issue for y'all. Y'all just don't want us to look over here.
No, and exactly, that's what it is. If we're focusing
That's
on...
even more insulting. You're gonna take my rights away, and it's not even important enough. It's like,
and that's the thing, like, why are we focusing on that? Like you said, smokescreen. And then it's going to filter down into LGBTQ rights, like we were talking about a little bit earlier.
and it's going to.
And it absolutely already has.
And it's going
Already
to be
has.
trans rights.
We've
as it has been.
already felt the brunt of being attacked in the political field as far as LGBTQ rights.
It's going to be marriage rights next.
Oh,
it's
yes.
going to be, I hope and I pray that it does not take people waiting for it to affect them
Right.
to act.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And it's not even the fact that it could potentially affect LGBTQ rights. It's just the fact that it's affecting human rights. Period.
Well, I'm going to tell you, okay? So you're going to talk about LGBTQ rights. Those include women.
Right. Right. Just like
And
I say.
as far as I'm concerned, and I don't mean to offend anybody by saying this, but like,
Say your
as
sick
far
taco
as
shit, girl.
women goes, I will definitely every day of the week open my umbrella to trans individuals, obviously, because trans women are freaking women.
Oh my
Like,
God,
that's not even a
absolutely.
question mark. This affects trans masculine people, absolutely, but it also affects non-binary people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I hope that it doesn't offend anybody that I open the woman umbrella to that, but like it does, and the
As you
moniker
should.
includes women. It's already
As you
a
should.
queer issue.
Yes. It already is. Like I said, it's not enough that it could affect us in the future. It's affecting us now.
It's doing it now.
And this is like, and we've, like I said, the political attack on human rights as a whole in the past few months, it's feel like one thing after the next.
And I mean, and I remember, so like, I was with a partner, I was married to a woman for quite some time, and when we first got together and we decided to be committed again to each other, marriage wasn't legal yet.
Ah, okay.
So they had just passed the civil union bill, and I was living.
That's a one way to
I was living in the state of Vermont, and I think I was something like the 40-something couple to get civil union in the state of Vermont, which was a huge thing. But it was still kind of a dig.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you won't let us get married,
but
you'll let us get civil union, but you'll also let me get civil union with my actual biological sister in case I'm sick.
Right. That so it kind of loses its significance.
It does. And I remember showing up at protests, and I remember campaigning for actual marriage laws, and I remember when it actually got passed, and like, what a victory that was.
Yeah.
And like, what a time to be alive when this happened, and I never thought it would happen in the time that I drew breath.
Yeah.
And now to see it in danger of being rescinded.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's scary. It's very scary.
It's
I
sad.
just don't. And sad.
It is sad.
And sad. The fight for opportunity to have the same things or something the equivalent of because of our sex or our gender.
Yeah.
Or
And we all know gender is just a construct.
It's
anyway.
crazy.
Like, who gives a about
it's
gender?
crazy
Like,
that we still have
it literally
the same
doesn't even
struggle.
exist. Like, we're just making it up.
And another thing with the overturn of Roe v. Wade was that Plan B is actually being taken off the shelves for a lot of places, being recalled. And a lot of people, once this happened, were like hoarding it. So now they put in place rules that you can only buy a certain amount of it as well. And I'm like...
And I mean, even things like, your social media is being monitored. Like, there's this big movement.
Yes, there's a thing that asks about your...
and I, like, okay, so first of all, there are menstrual tracking apps.
Yes, the menstrual tracking apps. Yes, that's what it was.
Which I've never been on a menstrual tracking app, and I'm kind of a natural girl. Like, it's gonna happen when it happens.
It happens when it happens.
But I'm also not ever trying to conceive anything at all. So like, I'm not really in tune with that vibe. But like, there has been advice to folks that are on these apps to like get off of these apps. There has been an influx of cis males, mostly homosexual, who have gone on there and put their information in, which I think is fantastic.
That is hilarious.
Please do it. Like, every person go on there. I don't care if you have a uterus or not, and flood their stuff with misinformation.
That's actually hilarious. I'm here for that.
It's really funny. Like, but it's also like good because like, and there's all these corporations out there right now that are saying, well, they're putting out statements that we will, as employees, will pay for you to go to the state where you can take care. Have you seen any of these?
No.
Yeah. So there's a couple of Fortune 500 companies, and I'm sure there's other companies that I haven't seen, that have put out statements and basically saying, we care about women, we care about your rights.
Okay.
And if you need this piece of health care, we will help you with accommodations to do that. Which sounds lovely, doesn't it?
It does.
It sounds really freaking
Sounds like an option.
Yeah. Guess what, kids? It's cheaper. It's cheaper for them to take you to Rhode Island or New Hampshire or Vermont. It's cheaper for them to put you up in the no-tell motel than it is for them to pay you maternity leave.
This is true.
So don't let that fool you either.
True.
Like, and the fact that we now have to look over our shoulders and question everything, because that sounds really nice.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
My company's gonna take care of me if I can't take care of myself.
You have a lot of children coming into this world that are not going to be looked after financially. Christy is saying, I highly recommend getting legal documents in place, wills, legal directives. Those things will be untouchable. Facts. My pastor and his husband said the same thing to me.
And do it now, y'all.
Yeah, my pastor and his husband said the same thing. They were like, if it weren't for the fact, like that was one of the main drives to them, moving forward with their vows, not only because they love each other, but because when you put those things in place, it kind of protects you a little bit from certain things.
Well, and again, even back in the day when I went through the civil union, like, that was almost insulting to me, because my first response is, and we all know I'm passionate, like, I don't want that. I want a real marriage, or I want nothing, which, baby, at the end of the day, it was never going to be real marriage. But anyway.
You're like, no, not for me.
That's, again, if you know, you know. Christy knows. Christy, you know.
Christy knows. Christy's in the know.
you know, when it came down to it, it gave me rights so that if my partner was in the hospital, I could get in there.
Right. Because they always say, "Oh, your family." Yeah.
Right, and
Well,
you know,
well-
and quite frankly, I was sick of being the roommate.
Right. Also, why does it matter? I'm here. This person needs someone.
It's another human being.
Right.
The relationship should
It's
be
irrelevant. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what? Thank you.
But also, like, seriously, like, that's a really good point. Thank you, Christy, for saying that, because everybody should get their affairs in order, and you should do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to cause hysteria or whatever, but be smart.
Yeah.
And make sure your ducks are in a row, because if they come for us, they're going to come for everybody.
Listen, strategy. Strategy.
That's it.
That's all we have. One of the only things we have is strategy.
True.
And if you can develop that, then you will always be prepared. Like they like to say.
Well, I mean, you know, if they're going to manipulate things, so should we, y'all.
So should we.
Play the game, play
Point.
it better.
Homemade, check, period, like, damn.
And
like, no, for real, no,
Yeah.
seriously. And it's kind of like at this really daunting turning point, too,
yeah.
that I'm a little afraid to even talk about, but we're at this really daunting turning point for human rights where I'm not sure. Like I said, the question I posed to you is, where have we come? How far have we come? I'm not sure. I honestly am not sure. Because sometimes like you do something good and then you do something bad and it kind of cancels one out. I feel like,
Yeah.
I don't know, we're at this point where it's like really...
The scales are tipping, and it's noticeable.
And it's
you
noticeable.
Can feel it. You can feel the
It's
scales
noticeable.
Are tipping. And it's scary.
I'm a little frightened.
It's
I'm a little
scary,
frightened.
but this is the time to rally. This is the time to, like, you know, and that brings to a good point, because, like, we very often start to feel helpless. And what can I do? And I'm going to tell everybody on this feed right now, there are things that you can do. So the first thing that you can do is register to vote. Okay? And
That's
if
a
you
big
don't
one.
know how to register to vote, please DM me, because I will help you register to vote.
I love that.
Okay?
I love that.
I was fortunate enough to learn that skill a few years ago when I was doing some outreach work and some volunteer work, and like, it's really super easy. I could take out my phone and do it for you right now, and I will. Absolutely.
Aw.
10 out of 10.
I love
Please
that.
register to vote.
No, I love that. The
Um,
personal outreach, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal to open yourself up to that. Thank you.
Absolutely. And
Thank
I
you.
mean, and I will take on that responsibility. Absolutely.
Jen Bona said, this is something I would love to talk about over a beverage. Oh, and Jen Bona just posted a link to apply to vote.
Thank you, Jen Bonin.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you. No, seriously, because it is
And we're
important.
going to get that drink, Mama.
It isn't. Oh yes, I love
can do
drinking
it.
with Jen. Oh my
We're-
gosh,
literally
it's
one of
a
my favorite
riot.
drinking
Oh my
partners.
gosh, she drinks me under a table, but
I mean,
I love it.
but you know, anyway, but,
Listen, but
register
anyways.
to vote. Okay, that's number one thing that you can do if you feel a little bit helpless, and you should do anyway as a human being. Secondly,
Facts.
educate yourself. Let's find out who these candidates are, and I'm going to tell you, I am very guilty of not doing this.
Same.
Full disclosure, not until very recently, I have started to look into really who my representatives are in my town, what they stand for, who their opponents are, what they stand for. We're not worried about, you know, the presidential election for another few years. We're not worried about these big elections. Like, these grassroots elections
Oh yes.
are really important.
Yeah.
And if you go to that website that Jen Bonin posted,
Yeah.
where you can register to vote, you can also sign up for alerts, and they will tell you when
I have
local
said
elections
this so many
happen.
times, and I'm going to say it again. It starts with your local
It's
politician.
really, really,
It's where it
really,
starts.
really, really important.
If you can be in touch and in tune with your local politicians and your local government, let me tell you, that's where the change will start. That's where you'll start to realize what needs attention and what doesn't. Like,
You know,
what
and
needs
as more
bodies.
people rally and support and have conversations with these representatives,
Yes.
not only can they be more informed and represent us better, but like, it lights a fire under them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's a chain reaction, it's
Yeah.
a domino effect. So like, educate yourselves.
Absolutely.
And again, if anybody has any questions and like needs to know a little bit more about the community, I don't know that I'll know the answers, but I'll definitely help you find
Right.
them.
And that's another reason why I wanted to do this topic as well. Like, as you know, and I don't know if and as viewers may or may not know, I am learning as well. I'm learning at the same time as you. This is to benefit me as well as the viewers, as well
I mean,
as.
I've been a feminist my whole life, so 47 years on this earth, but I'm still learning
You know what?
every
I
day.
consider myself a feminist too. I consider myself a modern hippie, if I'm being honest.
We love that.
But I also consider myself a feminist because I am.
But part of the
here for it.
hippie mantra is definitely feminism.
It is.
It's
is.
definitely.
I'm here for that, and that's kind of like how I would love to live my life.
Absolutely.
One of my mantras is hydrate, moisturize, mind your business. So I like to say that I'm a feminist. I agree with all of these
And you
things.
should say you're a feminist.
I like to say, I don't want anyone to, be like, oh, well, you're incorrect because feminist is this. But,
No.
feminist to me, I like to say I consider myself a feminist.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate the knowledge and anything that people share here with us, for you sharing your point of view on all this, because, again, I am not a woman. And there's far too many men deciding what to do with women right now. So
that.
I refuse to be one of them.
And that's the other thing I want to say is, women that are out there that are listening, and I'm talking about all women, and I want to also include the umbrella to trans mask folks.
Oh, yes.
Speak on it. Talk about your experiences. Make sure that people in your life know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And I really hope, my hope for everybody out there is that you have a safe enough space to do that. But you have the right to express yourself and the right, right now, we still have the right. So let's do it now. Strike while the iron's hot.
And like Jen
With
Bonnet said,
urgency.
she said, if you don't fight, they'll take it away.
And they will.
And they will.
And they have.
Just because they can.
Absolutely.
And all of these struggles, all of these fights are coinciding with one another. Whether you want to see it, whether you believe it or not, there could be no queer liberation without black liberation. There cannot be black liberation without woman liberation. And we have to make sure that
and
we are...
I don't want to sound some type of way, but I'm like, oh my gosh, is it the whole world against white cis men?
I mean, from beginning, they created that atmosphere of white cis men against the world.
It's funny, in my research, it wasn't a lot of research, but I read some articles. And
I love that.
I read an anecdote about Andrew Jackson's wife.
Oh.
Okay, so Andrew Jackson being one of the people that scripted the Constitution.
Yeah.
And she wrote her husband a letter. Didn't even have a verbal conversation with him because he probably wasn't listening. Wrote him penned an actual letter. The letter still exists. It's in the Smithsonian. And she is begging him to include women as differential from property.
Ah. Well, that's...
I am going to preface it that her letter was really kind of racist because she was really specifying white women.
God. Oh, God. You know what? So were the white
But
men.
I need to be transparent about that because,
Right.
I'm going to be transparent
We
about
want
that.
to be aligned with what we're aligned
Yeah,
with.
yeah. So, and I mean, I'm not, saying that was right necessarily, but, the fact that I would have to go to my spouse and say, on behalf of people like me, can you do this? And have my spouse that loves me say, no, we're going to pass on that, girl. Talk to me in a couple of, 100 years and maybe.
You know what?
Because that's literally what happened.
That's literally what happened,
Yes,
basically.
absolutely.
It's sickening. It's sickening. I mean, anyways. Well, I have so much to say.
We can just go on.
But literally, I think we're at the hour marker now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you guys back your Friday evening, I promise. But before that, obviously, before we go, I want to make sure to give you the space and the opportunity to let the viewers know anything that before we go, anything you want to promote, any upcoming events, just anything you want to say. And I want to thank you for this conversation again. I appreciate you on so many levels.
I appreciate you
just
too.
to have
Thanks
this,
so much.
Thank you. Just to have this conversation, honestly, means the world to me. And hopefully someone gets something out of this. We can educate someone, make someone feel even the more comfortable knowing that we know your struggle.
For real.
Whatever comes of it, comes of it. And I take it as fruit being bared. So thank you for that. Thank you for helping me accomplish that. But what would you like to leave with our viewers today?
Well, I mean, again, thank you for the space. And, you know, when Taylor approached me about doing this season of the show, I said, okay, I know what I want to talk about.
You did right away. You're like, I know what I need to talk about.
Taylor goes, oh no, girl, I know what you're going to say you want to talk about. And this is before all of this boom just happened. Like, the timing was like
seriously?
Very apropos.
Yeah.
But again, like, the space that you've created, I just want to say, like, 'cause this is my second time now on the show.
It is.
Okay, both conversations have been really amazing and really inclusive and very informative, and the work that you're doing is so good. And you know, I know everybody that's watching the broadcast right now will more than agree with this. Like, you enrich our lives.
Oh,
And to be a big part of the community and continue to do that, like, thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Jackie.
And thank you for giving me the platform to do that. That being said, as far as events, you all know where to find me.
You will be at all of them.
I'm at all of them, everywhere. So I'll see you on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I gotta sleep.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes I have a wine night, but mostly sleep.
We love Wednesday.
Thursday, Friday, catch me out in the town tonight. We're gonna do it, okay?
We're gonna be out in the town tonight. Yes.
We're gonna do it tonight.
Oh,
I gotta go home. I gotta let the dog out. We gotta get a little gussied up.
Listen, I had a Wednesday this week. I texted Bay a picture with my wine glass and my blunt.
We're here for it. We're here for it. We love it. Lastly, what I want to leave you folks with is please make sure you're registered to vote. Please make sure you're looking into your candidates.
Hallelujah.
That is the absolute minimum that we need to do. Support the women in your lives. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that you value them. Tell them that you're in their corner.
Yes.
Because we really need to freaking hear it right now, okay?
Yes.
And
Jen Bonner said cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Literally cheers to that, Jen. Like,
cheers.
And
thank you guys for coming. Like, I love y'all for showing up and showing out. I will see you all around and out. And if anybody wants to continue the discussion, you know I'm here for it.
Listen, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. The more that I know, the more armed I am for this fight, and I'm here for it. I like to arm myself with knowledge.
And that's it. Education's everything. So let's do it. Let's get it done, y'all.
Let's get it done. And lastly, I'm gonna leave you guys with, you know, like I always say, be good to yourselves. Look inward before looking outward. Thank you so much. Like Jackie even said, thank you so much for watching and for viewing, for keeping up with me. I don't take it, you know, lightly. It means so much that you guys are a part of this with me.
This one's worth keeping up on.
I love it.
Adventures on adventures on adventures.
I honestly love it, and it makes me feel so good that I'm able to even have this platform. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next week. Be good to yourselves. I love you all. And again, if you want to have this conversation further, we are here for it.
Reach out.
Make sure you like, share, you know, help us educate the youths, the next generation, and all that.
The youths need to know.
The youths! And you enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. Later, guys.
Bye, guys.